What's going on, everybody? Project Rod here, and welcome to the Rodcast, the Monster Truck Fanatic podcast, which is your ultimate destination for all things monster trucks, whether you're a diehard Monster Jam fan, a passionate follower of the sport, or just an avid player of the Monster Jam or monster truck related video games. This is the podcast for you. Once again, I'm your host, Project Rod, and we are on episode 15 of the Rodcast, and it is a very special episode today as we have a special guest who is Dave609 from YouTube, who is a good friend of mine at this point, I would say, and really an awesome guy in the community, and I'm glad I was finally able to meet him. We were supposed to meet earlier this year at the first Houston show, if I'm not mistaken. We were going to meet prior to the show starting. Unfortunately, we were unable to do so. We were going to meet after the show finished, but we weren't able to meet once again. I had some things that I had to get to, and I had to hurry up and get home. So unfortunately, we didn't meet, but fortunately, Houston show 4 came back and was on the map and on the calendar, and we were able to meet here prior to the show, right after the pit party, and we had a great conversation, a very long conversation, but it was a great one. We reminisce in old memories, talk current news, old news, new drivers, old drivers, our favorite Monster Jam moments, what brought us to the sport, and our predictions for the Houston show. And I'm going to go ahead and talk over who won all the competitions, what all went down, right before I would go ahead and play the conversation that me and Dave had on that day. And let me know down below who you thought was gonna take the wins here in Houston, who you thought was gonna win each competition and be the overall event champion. And it was a great show nonetheless. I mean, there were some moments that were a little iffy that I wasn't too happy with. For example, in terms of freestyle, unfortunately, Avenger was unable to compete, Miss Overboard was unable to compete, and Vendetta did compete but only got one hit in, as I believe he had some transmission issues, if I'm not mistaken, which you'll hear in the conversation between me and Dave. He did mention that he did hear that he was having some issues here in this show today. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see him in freestyle, but we did see him in skills, and we did see him in racing. So for the most part, we had all 12 trucks up until freestyle. And I'm going to go ahead and start off right off the bat with Avenger. I was really upset on how they went about this, because they did mention that Miss Overboard and Avenger would not perform due to mechanical issues. However, Avenger was just about to perform. He was getting ready to hit the track, and the way that he was parked, his right rear tire hit the wall, and he was kind of stuck where he parked. I guess he just parked too close to the wall, and they shut him off, and then they let Black Panther go ahead and start his freestyle run. And that's really the mechanical, air quotes, you can't see him, but I'm doing a mechanical issue that he had, and they did not let him compete. They didn't. I figured that maybe they would let him, bring out one of those, either let him fix himself or get one of those, I don't know, one of those tractors. I'm just going to call it a tractor. Get one of those tractors out and pull him out, if you will, kind of get him in a better angle so that he could compete his freestyle run. And they did not do that. They just said, screw it, we're going to stop him there. He's DNS, did not start, mechanical issues, that's it. And I felt like they did him really dirty, and I was very disappointed. So Monster Jam, do better, because it's Mr. Excitement. You got to let him freestyle, especially in that flame body paint scheme. I mean, I was super disappointed. It is what it is at this point. And yeah, we'll go ahead and jump straight into the results of Houston. So racing was pretty amazing. A new racing style. It was kind of a mix with Chicago style, and I think paperclip is what I heard. It was really cool, really different, and it was an exciting one. Round 1, you had Iron Man defeating Black Panther. Then you had Miss Overboard defeating Vendetta, which was quite an upset and very surprising. But she really went out there and killed it and knocked out Vendetta. Then you had Jurassic Attack defeat the Rod Ryan Show, and then Sparkle Smash defeat Avenger. In round 2, you had Gravedigger defeating Iron Man, the Amazing Spider-Man defeating Miss Overboard, Jurassic Attack defeating Thor, and El Toro Loco defeating Sparkle Smash. In these semifinals, we had the Amazing Spider-Man versus Gravedigger, and Jurassic Attack versus El Toro Loco. And not really too surprising, but the Amazing Spider-Man, Camden Murphy, knocking out Gravedigger. Gravedigger did have a hiccup in his attempt, which cost him the race. So Amazing Spider-Man moving on to the final round. Jurassic Attack defeating El Toro Loco and moving on to the final round. So it was an amazing and spectacular racing final. The Amazing Spider-Man versus Jurassic Attack. And it was, Camden put on quite a show and really showed what kind of skill he has, because in the final turn, he hit the turn pod, which sent him in kind of in a bicycle motion, kind of a bicycle angle, and he was able to control the truck and get across the jump and the finish line without getting any sort of penalty. I thought he was going to get a penalty and the race was going to go to Jurassic Attack, but no, Camden Murphy showed us what skill he has and just really came out with an amazing win. So he was the racing winner in Houston. So huge congratulations to Camden Murphy in the Amazing Spider-Man. Skills was pretty interesting. I think the track, there was a lot of obstacles kind of really clustered together. So they didn't really have too much room to really go out there and do what they wanted to do. Avenger, again, I was a little disappointed in his run because it looked like he was going to go for a maximum moonwalk off the backflip container. It looked like he couldn't get the right angle, so he just gave up on it and went for some sky wheelies. One of the ones that really stuck out was Sparkle Smash. Did a really cool moonwalk twirl twist. I don't know what to call it. It was really cool, really unique. The Rod Ryan show came out. Not sure what Chris Kohler had in mind, but had a great first attempt. The second one was really the cool one, kind of the highlight of his attempt, where he went into a bicycle, into a little bit of a sidewall, and when he went to save it, it kind of just gave too much, and he ended up on his lid and ended the run. Jurassic Attack had an amazing one. I don't think it would... I don't know. Depending on who you ask, you could have said... They might say that he should have won. It was a great attempt. It's really similar to what he did in Glendale, and he threw the steering wheel out on the second attempt. So kind of an awesome way to showboat and really show off his skills. And it was really interesting, really a hype moment once people realized that he threw that steering wheel out. But unfortunately, he got third place. Gravedigger getting second place. I really thought he would take it given the fan judging. His attempts were great. But at the end of the day, the winner was Jamie Sullivan in Thor, and she just showed amazing control and just overall great skill. To nice little play on words there, but no pun intended, in the skills challenge, putting on some amazing, or showcasing her amazing skill, doing a moonwalk off of one of the obstacles there, and kept it moonwalk into a stoppie and kind of just kept it there frozen, using that rear steer to kind of wave at the crowd. And it was really awesome. And then the second attempt was a maximum moonwalk or a tombstone, whatever you want to call it, off the backflip container. And again, just showing amazing control, amazing skill, and definitely a well-deserved win and her first stadium win. So big news for her. Huge congratulations to her and a great outcome nonetheless. And moving on to freestyle. There was something else I was going to say about the skills. I don't remember what. Oh, the skills attempt for Jamie Sullivan is on my YouTube channel. If you want to check that out, it's also on Instagram, so you can see the whole thing. And it's great. You should definitely check it out. Freestyle competition. So freestyle wasn't too crazy. Definitely, of course, a great show. Jurassic Attack and Dalton Widener coming out amazing, just right off the bat, smoking hot gun, jumping all over the place, getting an amazing freestyle in. And I feel like he scored a little low, got a 7.724, and really feel like he should have scored a little bit higher, maybe not in the 9s, but at least low 8s. But it is what it is. Still a great run. The one that surprised all of us was the Rod Ryan show. Chris Kohler was driving that truck, and he put on an amazing freestyle competition. And honestly, he should have won that competition. I will die on that hill. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, but Adam Anderson and Gravedigger won the freestyle competition. It was a great run, don't get me wrong. Adam Anderson put on a great freestyle attempt, a great freestyle run, but the Rod Ryan show and Chris Kohler, justice for the Kohlers, hashtag justice for the Kohlers. He really should have won that, especially given that they screwed Jim over when he got stuck behind the wall and they didn't let him get out or anything. They didn't do anything to help him get out because it's not like it was intentional. It was a bad spot for him, and they really could have helped him out and got him out, and I'm still highly upset about that, but it is what it is. But Chris Kohler definitely should have got that freestyle win, and you could see the disappointment in his face. It was also his birthday, so huge happy birthday to him, or happy belated at this point, but he really should have gotten that win, and they had the camera on his face as we were waiting for the score for Gravedigger to come up, and the second he saw that Gravedigger had a 9.649 compared to his 9.584, and Gravedigger taking the win since he was the last struck out, his face just went to straight disappointment, and you could see how upset he was. And it really made me upset, and I'm sure it upset a lot of us. But, fan judging, everyone's going to want Gravedigger to take the win. And, Gravedigger was a little shy of filling the clock, if I'm not mistaken. And, I mean, again, it was a great run, but Chris Kohler just put on an amazing run, phenomenal air, great momentum, that amazing crash that stripped the body off of the truck. And it was just awesome overall. So Gravedigger again ended up being the freestyle winner, and in the end was the overall event champion with 32 points. The Amazing Spider-Man with 30 in second place. El Toro Loco in third with 28. Jurassic Attack 26. Iron Man and Thor with 21. The Rod Ryan and Sparkle Smash with 19. Black Panther with 15. Miss Overboard with 10. Vendetta with 5. And Avenger with 2 points. So overall, the Houston show was great. Definitely had some highlights. Not the best, I would say, that I've ever seen in Houston, but definitely a great one to remember. And I'm going to be trying to upload clips every so often, as soon as I can, to make sure y'all can see those clips come in and kind of see what we saw. And I'm going to try to get the freestyle, at least all the freestyle uploaded, and maybe all the skills clips uploaded, and the racing kind of do it separately instead of one giant video, just do separate. So all of racing in one, all the skills in one, all the freestyle in one, that way you can watch it in bits and pieces. So but that's about it. One thing I would love to say and love to mention before I start this conversation with Dave is that so I don't know if they did this in Glendale, but they had the DJ, I forget his name, they had a DJ there, and I have never seen a Houston show so loud than this Houston show. This DJ had everybody hyped, all the music, he had everybody pumped, everybody standing, jumping, arms in the air, dancing. The music choices, I mean, this guy had the entire stadium completely hyped, on their feet. I mean, it was an amazing ambiance, an amazing scene. And if Monster Jam can keep this going with each and every show, I think it'll definitely improve some of the fan experience, and overall just a great feeling. And I was just happy to be there again. An October show, getting, you know, that nice cool temperature here in Texas, and just the smell of the monster trucks whenever they come out onto the track. And I mean, it was an amazing feeling, and definitely a show to remember. But we'll go ahead and get this conversation with me and Dave going. It was an hour and 15 minutes long, and again, it's just a bunch of talking, just back and forth. Again, just, you know, how we got into the sport, our favorite moments, favorite drivers, just conversations on everything, just having a cool conversation. At some point you will hear the trucks in the background, which will make it a little bit hard to hear, and sometimes there's some spots where we don't talk because we're looking at the trucks and waiting for the trucks to kind of pass. So again, it's going to be different because this was the first in-person Rodcast episode, so it's going to be a different feel to it, so bear with me. Let me know if you like it. Hopefully I can do some more in the future. I did get to meet Wayne, which is also known as Avenger Racing. I did get to meet him, and he was an awesome guy to meet, an awesome guy to talk to, and hopefully I can meet him again later on and maybe get him on the Rodcast. I did know that Monster Jam Lord and Monster Truck Reels, if I'm not mistaken, was there as well. Unfortunately, I did not get to meet them, but hopefully in future shows I can. And yeah, with that, I'm going to end that, and also I'm going to throw a little bit of tidbit information in there. There may be a face reveal circulating, whatever, around Instagram. At this point, I feel like you have a good guess on who that could be, but I'm just going to let you figure that out. And I think it's about time that we get to that point of my, I guess, place in YouTube. So if you want to go on that hunt, please feel free to do so, and let me know if you ever find it. But let's go ahead and get this conversation started with Dave. We are here in Houston for the February 19th show with the Marvel trucks, debuting for the first time here in Houston, and for the second time in the States. Glendale was the first stop. And I have a guest with me today, finally, after going a while without a guest. But I have Dave with me, Dave609 from YouTube, here with me today. Super excited. We meant to meet earlier this year. Unfortunately, I got a little sidetracked. I had some time constraints and stuff. I just needed to go, so we weren't able to meet. But we're here now. So Dave, I mean, how are you feeling, man? I mean,
it's going to be an interesting event for sure.
For sure, dude.
When you have Adam with the whole new chassis, everything about
I completely forgot about that. That's right. So this is the second show in that chassis?
Yes, and after his event in Glendale, this truck is definitely a dialed-in style.
For sure. Hopefully we have better fan judging here, because I know I watched that and I saw how it did not go well. So it's, you know, I don't know if anybody would disagree. I'm sure they won't, but Sparkle Smash definitely did not.
There was a few drivers
deserve to win that one. Yeah, Mike Christian put down a great run, but you know, Zach Gardner Wildside, he put on an amazing run.
Camden
Camden did too. Was it Jamie Gardner?
I believe.
El Toro Loco definitely surprised us with that backflip early on, and
I was in the pit party in line with him. And I asked him, if he was going to do it. He's like, he won't be able to.
No?
He's going to do it later on the freestyle, most likely.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, it did not work out.
I'm sure they had to. Yeah, but I mean, maybe they might have told him something, but I'm surprised to let him continue. That was the biggest thing. I mean, it was just a flat tire, pop tire. But
remember, Monster Jam got to learn from their mistakes.
This is true. They gotta. Oh, we might be catching some of that audio here from the Gravedigger ride truck again. And I forget to mention, this is the first time that I'm doing the Rodcast in person, the first in-person guest. So Dave has the honor of being that first guest here. But I mean, we'll go back. We'll kind of go through the regular questions that we do with everyone else. And really, like, what is it that brought you to this? What is it that got you interested in the sport itself?
Oh, every time somebody asks me, there's two things I will always say. Jim Kohler.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because most people don't really know, my first true event in monster trucks was way back in 2006. Ardmore, Oklahoma, smaller venue.
Yeah.
Promotion that's not even around anymore.
Yeah.
And apparently, as my parents tell me, I was a huge fan even from that point, but I don't remember it in my head.
Yeah.
2008, they got me a game.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That was the first Monster Jam.
Gotta love Urban Assault.
At first, I thought Monster Jam was just a video game.
Yeah.
One day, I'm scrolling through TV.
Yeah.
Monster Jam is on
Speed, I think, at that point, right?
Speed,
Yep, Speed.
And I click on it because I'm like, wait a minute, is this okay? I click on it. Jim Kohler is doing his freestyle in Detroit, 2010.
Yeah.
From that moment on, and then also hearing Scott Douglas, Mark
Oh
Schrader
my God,
speak,
Scott Douglas, yes.
Those are the other two that really got me hooked onto it.
Absolutely. Their commentary is undefeated.
And from that point on, I was just a Monster Jam fan ever since.
Yeah.
And even at that point, I didn't know which venues actually held. I didn't know there was anything near me.
Yeah.
I didn't find out till the week after that Arlington had one.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
A year later, what really hooked me on was actually a year later, 2011. Most infamous Arlington
yes,
Monster Jam
absolutely,
event
yeah.
ever known
I just
to
talked
man.
about that in last week's episode. Max D's,
yeah,
just amazing crash. The carnage that he had, that freestyle run, the way he ended it so perfectly.
And from that point on, I've just been hooked on.
Yeah, and for sure.
Even though I don't go to many events like most people do, I like to go out and try to support as much as I can.
For sure. Yeah, no, and I mean, being in Houston, I was, born and raised in Katy, Texas, not too far from here, at least a good 30-minute drive or so. And, my parents were really the ones, obviously, as an infant, who would bring me to these. And I mean, like I've mentioned it plenty of times before, there's pictures of me in diapers in the Alamo Dome. In front of Monster Patrol, and I forget what other one. The Monster Patrol always sticks out to me, and Monster Patrol was a good favorite of mine in my youth. But I mean, it's just been a yearly thing constantly. Every single year they would take me at least to one show. They come 4 times a year. There was at least one show every single time, and I've loved it ever since. And I continue to love it. It's definitely a huge part of my childhood and just a huge part of my life, obviously, as I continue with the podcast and the YouTube channel and all that stuff. But I guess, you bring up Arlington 2011 and some other events. Are those really like your most memorable moments, or is there like another memorable moment that sticks out more from an event you've been to in the past?
2013.
2013?
Mm-hmm. Jim Kohler, Avenger, comes out in freestyle. It's towards the...
No, sir.
I don't know.
No.
Let's see. So, it was 2013 Arlington, Jim Kohler and Avenger.
Okay.
This event has already been off to an amazing start. When you have El Diablo with JP Reggiero going out and having a huge sky wheelie destroying the whole back end of the truck.
Yeah.
Then you have so many other guys coming out here. Random Mike Vaughters getting stuck in a bus. You can't forget that one. But
back when we did buses.
But Jim Kohler comes out in freestyle and just goes off the wall.
Doing what Jim does best.
That was the year that he won the Big Air of the Year award.
Oh, yeah.
It was Arlington.
Was it?
Having that.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Because when he skyrocketed that truck, he landed on some cars and ended up going into a side, which got him and hit a Barbarian that was just parked on the side there.
I remember Barbarian too.
He was able to flip, slam back on all four. And it's not BKT tires because there was no BKT tires at that point. And he keeps going.
I was going to say, I'm sure they let him keep going.
At this point, his truck's broke because that back end landed hard enough to where it was kind of twisted a little bit. So it's kind of pushing his truck back and forth.
Yeah.
He hits the bus back like this. He sky wheelie, lands back, turns off to this way, but then has to back it up.
Yeah.
Because, has to get out. And then he hits the other side with the sky wheelie and ends up hitting the truck just right. So he actually ends up doing a barrel roll.
Oh, nice.
And lands on the other 2 tires and goes back and saves it on the other side.
Yeah.
And then he just keeps on going.
Yeah.
And finally does another sky wheelie, which ends the truck entirely. And he actually, the weirdest thing about it was, even though he only got a 27, he ended up winning that freestyle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the second one was between Adam and Pablo, who both had phenomenal runs on their own, with Adam doing this like very long jump. Like it was from one end of the stadium all the way to the other, using the bus stack.
What was Pablo driving? Pablo
Huffbaker.
Oh, that's right. Adam was in the Legend. That's right. I forget about that.
Because this show had 20 trucks.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And and one of the other most memorable one was David Smith.
Yeah. King Crunch. Yeah.
He did like
I remember.
He did like a weird twist. It kind of like, because he did a wheelie, the truck twisted.
Yeah.
So his truck kind of turned back, and he kind of looked like he did a front flip into a back flip kind of.
Yeah. Oh man, I forget about King Crunch sometimes.
But 2013 is one of my other favorites, because, and then 2016 as well, just because that lineup is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Even though I've missed some of the other good ones like 2012, 14, those groups, even 15 could be under that retrospect, but sometimes you don't get to go to events.
No, for sure. No, I understand that 100%. And the only Monster Jam shows I've ever been to, I've been here in Houston. I've been to one in Austin. It was in it was an arena. So that was like prior to the the Apex and stuff where they were able to do the backflips. So it was just the pad, not even cars. It was just the pad, that dirt pad in the middle. So they couldn't. They were just jumping over a little mound of dirt. So there wasn't really much they could do. So it was an interesting show for sure, but wasn't not something I would probably do again. Maybe now that the arenas have improved.
Well, the thing about Austin is they don't actually get Apex backflips at all. They're too small.
Really?
It's too small of a venue.
Oh, well, I believe that.
If you wanna get a good event, if you take the time, go to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
You may not like some of the lineup, but they put on shows, and that's how I saw Brandon Arthur before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't recognize him.
He was gonna be I knew he was gonna be a racer from just Oklahoma City, because this dude hadn't even stepped in a truck fully.
Yeah.
And is already getting towards the final round, and then takes 2 wins.
Yeah, he looked. He was when I saw him on the lineup, I wasn't too familiar with him. I was like, okay, he's probably someone new. I did not recognize him at all.
Mainly a international driver.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
And that makes same thing goes with the marble truck. Most of these drivers, they were driving the trucks out in international.
Yeah, I did see that.
Monster Jam wants to bring it over here because they're popular. It's
and in the pit party, I noticed that some of the longest lines were the marble trucks.
Ironically, it was between Black Panther and Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Now, were they the closest ones to the entrances? Yeah.
Yeah.
But Iron Man and Thor barely had anybody compared to those two.
Camden was packed. I went to Bari. I got to meet Bari, got his autograph and everything. I was going to try to go to Camden. But man, that line was ridiculous. But I saw Jim Kohler in Avenger. I saw that fire paint scheme. I said, oh, no, I'm going there.
I am the fire paint scheme.
I love that fire paint scheme.
It is my favorite Avenger.
I love it.
And most people also don't know this. My other favorite one is this 2011 Cherry Blossom.
Yes,
style.
yes. I was going to say.
I've asked him before if he would ever get a chance to bring it back. He won't be able.
Oh, man.
It's just they don't have the bodies flying around anymore.
Got it.
And
because I love that one, and I love that blue one that he brought World Finals. What was it? 9, 10? I forget that, baby blue with the snorkel. The skull has a snorkel on it. Oh my god!
For how short that freestyle was.
Yeah, I was so disappointed with that. But man, I love that paint scheme. I love it so much. I have a couple of die casts of it. I have one sealed and one open, but man, I love that blue paint scheme.
That's what I love about these independent trucks. They come out here with Jurassic Attack, who happens to be out here right now.
Yeah.
Having this robotic look.
Yeah, and I was talking to him about it, and I was like, man, this looks great. I'm glad I'm finally able to see this truck in person. Meet you, see the truck actually perform instead of on screen and stuff. And he's like, yeah, it looks a little rough right now. And I was like, well, I'm sure it's going to look even worse by the end of the show. And he's like, oh, I'm hoping. I said, hey, man, me too. We put on a good show out there, man. Good luck.
Funny thing about Jurassic Attack, I did see this one back in 2021.
Uh-huh.
Because it was in Arlington back when David Oldfield was driving the truck.
Okay.
And he was having one of the best runs, and the RII officials stopped him.
Of course.
Because, and you want to know what it was for? The body going off.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so when people say that they'll shut you off for any reason,
they will.
It is.
So I forget where in Australia it was. I forget that it wasn't Sydney. It was the one prior to that. But we were doing that watch party on Discord, and they shut one of the drivers off, and we all said like almost in unison, like part of the body came off. And that was why, and it's like, what? Like, come on now.
And I will say this: Monster Jam is getting a little bit better at.
I've noticed
waiting until after the truck is gone.
Oh, there's Jamie Gardner actually right there.
Right there.
Look at him. Is that his wife?
I don't know actually.
I don't know. She's out in Miss Overboard.
Yes,
I was disappointed that Wildside wasn't here because I wanted to see him.
He is actually. Based on everything, apparently they had also signed their team up to go to another independent event that just so happened.
So he's there.
So there was supposed to be another driver there. Apparently, something.
Got it.
Injuries happened, so they had to make improvements. And yes,
man,
the one fun thing about this, even though we don't know what to expect, because this is her first stadium event.
Yeah.
I will say, just be ready because
for sure,
Team Overboard brings
everything. I mean, I have no doubts in my mind. I really wanted to see Jamie Gardner. I really wanted to see the truck in person. It's a beautiful truck, beautiful paint scheme, and I mean, obviously, he's really shown everybody what he's capable of, especially in Glendale.
Jamie he is known as one of the underrated drivers.
Yeah, for sure.
If he gets just that right momentum, you're going to get a freestyle that you will not forget.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a lot of examples.
I mean, he was one of the ones that really did the corkscrew a lot, from what I recall, until I think, and this is just speculation from what I've heard, I think Monster Jam stepped in and was like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. Which I believe it. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't doubt one bit that they're going to bring a show. So I'm really looking forward to see what they're going to bring here tonight, and
see what everybody has in store.
Oh, for sure.
After Camden's run in Arlington, that was the last time I've seen Camden. I am ready to see if he can.
Oh, that's right. I remember that because I remember they shut him off here in Houston in that last show because he happened to roll over, and they say that he touched the wall. I don't think he did.
That actually occurred. So most people don't really know this, but if you watch any footage of Camden's run, his truck actually did hit the wall.
Did it?
When it did the backflip and when he was on the wheels, the back end did.
Well, no, this one was at least from here in Houston. He had a jump, and I guess he came in with too much momentum in the turn, and he rolled over and went into like that little corner in the stadium. And I'm guessing he might have like touched the tarp or something because you would see if the truck would bounce back, and it didn't bounce back. And you could see like his frustration, like he's slamming the steering wheel and his helmet and all that, and he comes out like waving his arms.
Like I get it, they have to be protected, but at the same time, like you got to see what occurred.
Yeah, I feel like they jumped the gun very quickly instead of saying, okay, let's wait a few seconds.
Like there's some examples of that occurring, like Tom Mentz back in show 2 of Houston. This past January. His truck landed on 2 wheels, but they shut him off because he was too close to El Toro Loco. Because he would have hit the wall if they allowed him, because he was almost in the perfect position to do a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And he was gonna be.
And with that momentum, for sure. I mean, I feel like sometimes maybe we do give these guys too much of a hard time, and obviously it's safety reasons and all that, but sometimes it's very obvious that it's not necessary.
It happened to Charlie Pocket in Arlington. It was a heartbreaking moment.
Well, what happened?
Oh, he turned and his truck slammed right into a barricade.
Oh.
And this is before, like, they had not set any rules.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that's it for Grave Digger. And we're just like, what? Because we're all excited. Like, this is Charlie Pocket back in his first, or one of his first trucks.
Yeah.
And you just shut him off because he slams into a barricade. Wow. What a shame. But I get that. But at the same time, like, Monster Jam used to let Tom Mentz drive on the barricade.
I mean, they would let them go absolutely crazy. And broken tires, broken axles, broken what have you. And, I mean, it's what it is. I get it. It's all safety. They want to make sure everyone's safe, and especially the crowd and all that. But, it tends to ruin it sometimes. But, I don't know. I'm trying to think back. I've been to, like I said, almost every single Houston show for the past 20 some odd years. And I think I bring up 2008 a lot for Max D.
That event, there's actually someone else in the community who was at that show.
Oh, okay.
And they say the same thing.
Yeah.
About that freestyle.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about the first one, right?
Which first what?
The first, the show of that year.
Yes.
January or whatever.
Yes, it was like January 6th or something.
For how small, like for how little there was on
Yeah.
that track.
It was great.
It was like one of the best 2008
And
events.
you know what, too? I sometimes at work I have Monster Jam playing. I have a TV in my office. So I have Monster Jam playing in there, and they were actually showing the racing event of Houston 2008 this past Thursday. And I was going to try to get a clip of it and post it on Instagram. But yeah, they were showing, and I'm like, look at that, there it is. That's the track that I've always talking about. And that's the day that I became a Tom Meents fan, because I used to be so anti Tom Meents. I was always Gravedigger Dennis Anderson. No one can beat him. And then I saw Tom Meents do that, and I was like, okay, I'm hooked. This is my guy now too.
Like most fans, for most of anybody, 2008 definitely hooked a lot of people on.
Oh yeah.
And I believe 2011 was another year, because I before the 20th anniversary fully started, I did this 2 decades of destruction video.
Yeah.
And I went around the whole community asking people their most memorable moment for Tom.
Yeah.
Or just maximum destruction in general. And I noticed a lot of people tended to
stay in that area.
2008. There was even somebody who did Phoenix of 2008 with Neil Elliott.
Oh, okay.
And I watched that run, and I'm like, okay. Because it wasn't like top maximum destruction all over the chaos place, but still a decent freestyle.
Yeah.
So it seems those 2 specific years, a lot of people really...
I mean, it was a great time in Monster Jam, and obviously we saw the crush cars and all that. And just the absolute carnage of them being able to do whatever they want and still continue to run, be it broken or not. And I remember them bringing out a camper or something in 2008 and absolutely destroying it. But another year that stands out to me is 2012. And again, I bring this up all the time.
Yes.
It was the first backflip that Maximum Destruction did in this building, and it was Neil Elliott driving. And I was confused because Maximum Destruction never came out for racing. Nothing was ever said. And it's like, well, what's going on? Like, what happened? Like, now there's a broken truck. Like, we're not going to see him in freestyle, all this stuff. But there was a random semi-truck trailer on the track. And we're like, that's odd. It still has the tires on it. Like, it's still intact. It's not painted. What's the deal with this? Why haven't they taken this off? So, of course, racing finishes. And here comes Maximum Destruction, Neil Elliott making his lap. And I was sitting in the perfect spot to see it. And that just, the rest is history. After that, and it was backflip after backflip from then on out.
And then you got that footage from the first show of
2024. Yes, and I was in the perfect spot yet again in the perfect spot. So
man, I love those kind of nostalgic moments.
Yeah.
I remember that day because me and my family, we were driving out to the Gulf.
Yeah.
And I was hoping, because I knew a Monster Jam event was on that day, and I was like, because we were already in Houston, I'm like, oh, please, no. And I was like, no. Because it was there, the debut of Metal Militia.
Yeah.
Like the first show of 2012.
Metal Militia. Oh, I love Metal Militia.
And it took me until 2016 just to see the truck.
Yeah.
Luckily I did, because that show was, Todd LeDuc came out and laid it all out.
Todd was a different beast. In Metal Militia and in Monster Energy.
Megalodon, he's just not a fan of the truck.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
Megalodon is just hard to see through.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've seen him say, that it's just a hard truck to look through.
So unfortunately, we're not going to see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they might switch him to another one. Maybe even put him in Blue Thunder. I don't get why Blue Thunder's not really out much.
If they give him back in Blue Thunder, we're going to get a World Finals 2022 moment again.
Oh, for sure. See, and they don't really. I've seen Blue Thunder perform in a while.
What's funny is the only times I've seen Blue Thunder, the only driver I ever saw was Todd LeDuc.
Yeah.
Because 2011, it was his rookie season.
Yeah.
And he had a phenomenal freestyle.
Yeah.
Now, did his truck have a lot of issues? Yeah. There was just a lot of mechanical issues going on at that point. And then they announced him to be in Blue Thunder in 22, and I'm like, wow, blast from the past. and from that point on, and like, I think Todd LeDuc was a perfect fit for that truck.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they're just like, Mega.
I feel like, though, you know, at the end of the day, Monster Jam's trying to sell merch and T-shirts and toys. And, you know, do kids want this cool shark-looking truck, or do they want a blue truck with some lightning on it?
And there's a lot of people who like that truck, though.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Oh, Blue Thunder?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Blue
I had
Thunder.
a friend who didn't even like monster trucks in general.
Yeah.
And the only truck that ever caught his eye was Blue Thunder.
Yeah. Oh, I love Blue Thunder. Blue Thunder was one of my original favorites back when Tony Farrell was driving it.
And I saw Tony Farrell before, too.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to see most of these, like, more retired-based drivers, but I still, like, they put on better points than what I've seen in the past few years.
I mean, yeah.
Except Camden. I think that 60 seconds probably was the top freestyle, I'll be honest with you. For the one, like, between him, Tyler, and Tom, those 3 freestyles were probably the best 3 that came into this year.
Oh, for
And
sure.
then you have, and of course, hopefully tonight we see something that tops one of those. Like, there's great.
So. Oh, yeah. So some of the audio might be muffled for that. So we'll let him do his thing really quick. God, it sounds so great.
Nothing will beat the smell of a monster truck on a random October evening.
Right.
The only thing I am still sad though about the top of these trucks, the fact that they took out the world title thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've always wondered, because I just noticed most trucks got it removed.
Yeah.
Why though? Like, what's the point?
You think maybe it's the multiple drivers? Maybe the
Because,
confusion?
Like, Adam has 2 under Gravedigger.
Yeah.
2016 and 18. And then you have, and I don't understand for El Toro Loco because the driver that won the title isn't even with the truck.
Yeah. Lupe?
Yeah, so. Because I would have loved to have seen what Wildside would have done with a team like that.
Man. Oh, there's Jurassic Attack.
I have heard that Vendetta's having some issues.
Today? Oh, man.
There is supposed to be special intros tonight, too.
Oh, is there?
For all the Marvel.
Oh, okay.
So Glendale style, again.
See, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Which would make sense, though, because...
No, yeah, for sure. Hey, so during Monster Jam shared an Instagram post of walking into the tunnel, there was a body that it looked like a body, but just that was red with a Monster Jam logo on it. Is that what that was?
Oh, the one you can sign on, right?
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes, it's just... So what they do, every event will bring that out. You can sign the thing, and most people don't know this, they'll erase it after. After the pit party, it gets erased.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't keep...
So they don't use it or nothing?
No.
I saw it in the video. I was like, oh my God, are we going to get like a new truck or like some kind of stunt or something? I was excited for that because when I came in, I was looking for it and I didn't see it. And I was like, well...
Usually, so the one thing I will say, you'll know if you're getting a special thing happening. It's based on if they let you out here or not. Because in Arlington, they don't let you in the back for any reason.
Yeah.
But there was a 2020.
Yeah.
I remember I saw Whiplash, a secondary Whiplash, and the Monster Jam stunt truck both just sitting in the back.
Yeah.
And I sent a picture of that, and I'm like, why is there 2 trucks here?
Yeah.
And come to find out, they get in this weird racing thing between 2 systems.
Huh. I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's not really televised or anything.
Well, I mean, it was a bad year, too. So. Oh, but it was early before all the... Okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember that when they shut it down, Detroit was getting their dirt and everything.
Oh, no.
They had like the whole track ready.
Yeah.
You had to tear it all down.
Oh, man. Well, I hope this is getting caught. These trucks are pretty loud, so...
Well, I don't know why they have Gravedigger just still on. You think they would shut them off by this point?
Oh.
Oh, we got more guys coming, I think.
Do they?
Right there. He's hanging out. They're getting ready to do something.
Probably just have to edit this bit out. Oh, there it is. All right, we got our hearing back.
Yay.
So, I'll test it out in editing and see if we can hear any of that. If not, then we'll cut it out completely.
And the fun thing was, so while I'm walking, like right when I first got here, before I went to Gravedigger, Scott Douglas just
really,
yeah, he was standing
here.
Right, yes,
oh
man, he was standing right in front of Miss Overboard, and I'm just like, and like my childhood self was just like,
oh man, it was a Houston show back in, I forget when, I mean 2015, 2016, and I'm walking in the pit party, and I turn around and there's Scott Douglas, and I'm like, oh my god, do I go or do I not? Like, is he okay with me approaching him or no? And I ended up not doing it. I just kind of like stared from a distance, kind of like there's Scott Douglas. Like I was like, what is it?
You're starstruck.
Yeah, starstruck. I was just like, oh my god, like there's the voice of my childhood. Like, what do I do?
Well, the day, imagine if you got both him and Mark in the same venue.
Man.
Oh, here we go.
That's El Toro, ain't it?
Yes. That spelled out.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, apparently, I'll wait till after.
Okay. I can't wait until we're in there and they're all coming out at one time, getting all that smell in.
Make me excited for Arlington.
All right. Wow. He's just rubbing it in now. Round of applause.
One thing I love about this Houston area is the fact that this is one of the most unique things where you can actually see the trucks in the pit getting ready to go.
And see, I've never been back here. I've always heard it, like at least here. Like I've been down there for pit parties, but I've never been like on this balcony.
Yeah, usually. Yeah,
it
is one of the. Oh, there's the water truck.
I was ignorant to it.
Hey, it is a cool experience especially once you get all the trucks out.
Because I would always see people like on Instagram and stuff, then post pictures of the trucks. So I'm like, how do you get back there? Like it has to be some kind of special access. And little do I know, you can just walk back here.
Don't give Monster Jam ideas, man.
Right? You're gonna have to pay to come back here now. Sorry. Sorry to the community for that.
All hail Jam. No, but what was I gonna say? So, Avenger apparently based on everything. If everything's correct, they brought back Zoomies. The Zoomies based on the design of the truck.
Huh.
So it is not like everyone else.
Yeah.
Because it has the up one.
Yeah.
The ones that are up. So if Jim's got those, you know something good's about to happen.
Oh man, I hope so, dude. I'm so excited.
Because especially in October, like Jim is a whole other beast when it comes to October.
Yeah.
And I remember last year he was supposed to be in Arlington, but they trolled Monster Jam and failed by not bringing Avenger.
What did they bring?
Brutus.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because Brutus wasn't supposed to be in the line.
Yeah.
And now Brutus.
Oh man, I'd love to see Brutus again.
Brutus is a great truck. I've seen it. After next week, it'll be third time. I wish I could have seen Chris Bergeron.
Is it going to be in Arlington?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man,
so if Rod
dude.
Ryan, if Chris wasn't driving Rod Ryan, it would have been Brutus.
Oh, see, that's why I hate the Rod Ryan show.
But come on, Dan Evans drove that truck.
Oh.
Everybody remembers Mayorman Dan Evans with Destroyer, and then he brings out Rod Ryan's show.
It just makes me so mad because we could have like a different truck that we don't get to see often, but we get the Rod Ryan show. And I've said this before.
Well, I'm hoping it doesn't have the same issues like what happened with the January event, because that was not a fun time.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it was coming out.
Sorry.
Look at that beauty, though.
I know. I'm not gonna lie, it's an oddly shaped truck, but it still looks great.
Now, Iron Man's an oddly shaped.
Oh god.
It looks like they just took an oval and called it a day.
I would have preferred original Iron Man over that.
And what's ironic is this is my first time seeing that truck. I've never seen Iron Man before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember seeing him here all the time when he had the flames coming out the back. There's Thor.
No, truck I wish I could have seen with Batman.
I've seen Batman. Yes. Oh, dude, I've seen Batman here. Yeah, so Batman, Superman.
So you see how these four are in the back all alone?
Yeah.
They're going out last because they in the intros.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of doing like what they did last year where everybody got their own random intro,
yeah,
they're doing it to where the four new trucks get the intro.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks clean. Spider-Man looks great.
I think if they would have kept the old version of Thor with the hammer in the front, would have been a better design.
Thor doesn't look. Yeah, I mean.
Vendetta.
No.
And then there's Sparkle Smash.
Sparkle Smash. Vendetta's a truck that really surprised me. Really, like, I didn't expect a lot out of him. When I saw him, I was like, okay, it's going to be one of those, like, throwaway runs. Kind of, they just come out to do their bit and leave. But, I mean, he throws it out there.
So, Mike used to be a driver of Iron Outlaw.
That's why the name sticks out.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
So, before he did the whole Team Throttle,
there he is. Oh, man, I love that body.
Rod Ryan Show, your favorite of all time.
Boo.
Hey, come on, it's Chris's birthday.
I did see that. I was hoping to meet him to tell him happy birthday.
Fist overboard.
I was trying to read her name. I can't see it.
Fist over. I think it's Deborah.
Deborah?
I think. Debbie or Deborah?
Huh.
Can't remember the exact spelling.
Oh, look at Avengers headlights. Oh, I love it.
Oh, and it glows.
Yeah. Oh, so that's everybody. That's 12. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. That's everybody.
I remember the good old days when there were 16 trucks.
Oh, dude. It was the best.
Oh, look at that.
Ah, he hit Sparkle Smash. Or she did.
So it looks like the way it's going to go is Gravedigger, I see how they're doing it. It's going to go Gravedigger, Sparkle Smash, Overboard, then El Toro, then Rod, then Avenger, and then...
I figured Sparkle Smash would get her own kind of special thing, given that it's her first Houston show.
Nope.
Are they kind of over that whole debut?
Yep.
Well,
Not surprised, though. The truck hasn't really been a super hit.
no.
Like, I get what they were trying to do, but at the same time, it's, eh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not,
Like, they chose a great driver for the truck.
For sure, yeah, for sure. But I am going to miss Soldier Fortune.
Yeah,
Like, there's no doubt about it.
I think that they could have done something to keep the truck alive. Like,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's going to be similar to some of these other popular trucks that just get put on the shelf. Like, bring back Chad Fortune. Let him drive.
Yeah. What's he been up to? I forget about him
I think he works
sometimes.
behind the scenes now, like Sean Duhan and all of them.
Yeah, Sean Duhan, too. I forget about him.
Sean Duhan is behind the scenes. What's his, Dustin Brown's a behind the scenes.
Dustin Brown.
Dude now.
Whatever happened to... Because Pablo had a shop here in Tomball. Pablo Hubfaker, so I'm sure that's where he's at.
Yeah, that's where he's at.
But who's the other guy? It's Vaughn something.
Oh, Carl Van Horn?
Carl Van Horn, yes.
So he, I believe, is also behind the scenes.
Got it.
And,
that is the only Gravedigger driver to this day that I've ever met. And it was right back here. And I have a picture of him, got his autograph, all that stuff.
Ironically, I have met almost every Gravedigger driver in the entire industry.
But him? Oh.
Except for Carl. I've seen Pablo, but never met Pablo.
I've seen Pablo plenty of times. That guy was...
Oh, yeah, because he's a Texas...
menace.
One thing I loved about Monster Jam, I didn't understand this at the time, because I always wanted to see Dennis.
Yeah.
But he never came down to Arlington except for the 2 shows I missed.
Yeah.
Until 2016.
Of course.
But I understood. Now I get why Pablo was coming out to these venues, because he's Texas-based.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
a
he's
popular driver.
30, 45 minutes away from here, Tomball, not too far down the ways.
That's crazy.
It's funny. So remember way back when, and this thing has been going on so randomly. There's really no theme to this right now. But a long time ago, remember when Ryan Anderson brought out these? I forget what they were called, but they were like little buggies.
The mud hogs or whatever they're called.
Maybe, but he was like, I say buggies. That's a horrible way to describe it.
They're like the King Sling style and all them, right?
Kind of, but not with like the aggressive tires. They're just regular, like I don't know how it's like a Polaris No, that's not even a good description. But it's basically these little cars that they would race around the track in. And it was like his own, like it was something that they were trying to do, and I don't think it really took off from there.
Don't really take off because if you've noticed, monster trucks used to be the side attraction, and now it's turned around where they're no longer the side attraction.
They're
but
the main
now the side attractions aren't getting popular anymore.
Yeah, but it was Ryan Anderson's idea, and like it was his big thing. It was the debut of it. I say almost every truck, but at least a good amount of trucks had their own themed ones, so they would have like their own race tracks. It was whenever they were doing obstacle courses.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one,
the one in Houston where they brought out those like weird looking buggy things.
Yes. So there was one time. So there's this road where I used to live.
Yeah.
It's called 362, FM 362. It's a farm to market road out there. Go whatever. I was driving through Waller, Texas. Which Waller isn't too far from Tomball. Again, another like 30 minutes or so from Tomball. You can get on 2920, take it straight all the way to Tomball. So I was driving in the middle of the night, pitch black. It's a country road. There's nothing but ranches out there, no street lights or nothing. There's this trailer in front of me.
Oh, no.
And I was like, those look really cool. Like they're really like little buggy looking things. And I was like, I wonder where that's going. And Monster Jam was right around the corner. So I was like, there's no way there's a connection here. Well, sure enough, I don't know. Maybe it's a surprise. Let's hope.
If only.
Right? If only Monster Jam treated us that well. But yeah, so I actually saw those buggies. They were on their way to Tomball. They were on their way to Pablo's shop.
Because that's where, because I don't think most people know this, but a lot of drivers actually end up using anybody's shop that's around the area.
And here's another one. I ran into Gunslinger's truck in the same road. And it's so bad because I live streamed it on Instagram very shortly. I followed them and they exited off into like a truck stop and they saw that I was behind them. So they turned around and got back on the road. And I was like, oh man, like if I keep doing this, they're going to call the cops on me or something. So I let it go.
So what's funny is that one time I was getting a haircut. This was like back in 2016.
Yeah.
And my dad just sees the Gunslinger trailer go by, and he's like, "That's a what?" Like he was saying, like that's a Monster Jam one. I'm like, huh? I don't see it. I'm getting a haircut here.
Oh man, I think those are like the most exciting moments I've had, at least on the road where I've seen it. I've seen them actually moving.
Due to the area I live in, I don't see them because Arlington there's a separate highway to get to Arlington. I live off of a whole other section. To a regular highway that takes you towards Oklahoma. So they are not passing through there. And if they do, they're trying to get to the toll road. Yeah,
that's the only time that I've ever had experiences like that. And it was great. It was really cool to like, once I was in the stands and watching those little buggies go around, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
I've seen this.
2015, right?
Yeah, around that time, yep. So, but I guess, we're watching all the drivers now, or all the trucks kind of do their thing, get ready for the show and all that. But
because we are officially
58 minutes away from the start. So, but we've kind of been everywhere with this, kind of just going off the rails.
Nothing wrong with that. That's what a podcast is for.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, absolutely. I mean, we're here, we're enjoying this, we're in person, watching all these trucks and drivers come out here. So it's great. I mean, I guess we'll talk about the show. I mean, who do you have your eyes on tonight? Who do you think is really going to come out and take racing, then take skills, and then take freestyle? Who do you think is going to?
I have Bari for racing.
Yeah.
I think Bari.
Who won in Glendale? I forget.
I think it was Adam. I think.
Was it Adam? I wouldn't be surprised.
It was either Adam. It was either Adam or Camden. I can't remember who.
Okay.
But I have Bari taking racing as long as he doesn't mess up in a turn or something.
Yeah.
Now Adam is another good pick.
I was going to say Adam.
Almost Chicago style.
Yeah. But Adam always killed it in Houston.
And then Camden's my other for racing.
Oh yeah, I could see Camden doing it. Adam is just something about Houston where he always performs extremely well here.
This is one of his best jobs.
Yeah. And he always performs amazing here, even back when he was driving Taz here. So, I mean, it's a tough pick. Bari's a good one, but I've said it before, Adam is my least favorite Anderson. I've said that before. I'll die on that hill. But,
Crazy.
I mean, no disrespect to what he does. I mean, he's an amazing driver, very talented, very skilled. Obviously, he's had multiple championships.
Most of my favorite Gravedigger drivers no longer drive. So,
right? But I don't know. He's just, I won't go too much into detail. I've mentioned it before. And I know I had, what was it, Daniel Murray? He was on the podcast at some point. He was like, oh my God. He said, that's a hot take if I've ever heard one. I was like, well, I just, he's not my favorite. He's my least favorite in terms of Andersons and Gravedigger drivers. But
is it just because he's more technical versus chaotic?
No, I think
I'm curious.
It's more so his personality. Something about him just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Okay. I feel like he's very, what's the word? Dennis was very natural. Dennis was very, like, he was really about the fans and everything. And Adam's kind of just like trying to be like Dennis, but he's not really like 100% into it as his dad was.
He loves driving though.
Absolutely. I mean, he'll drive the wheels off of that truck if they let him.
Enough shows that meet him enough, he'll remember you.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never met him. I was going to try to today. Obviously, I couldn't. They cut me off.
They have a tendency to do that.
Yeah, that's what happened with the one and only time I was ever able to almost meet Dennis. They cut me off as I was stepping in line.
Oh, no.
I was like 10 years old, and the guy's like, "Nope, sorry, it's done. You gotta go."
They actually did that to me to Adam before.
Oh man, I'm never gonna forget that day.
So who do you think's gonna win racing? Who's your fun pick of the day?
I'm saying Adam. That's why I was in that area. Like, I don't know. Something about him just gives me a weird vibe. I haven't met him. I haven't spoken to him. I haven't had any kind of one-on-one with him, so I don't know. But just from what I've seen and like hearing him talk, it just sounds sometimes in a way kind of fake.
I got you.
Kind of scripted. I don't know. That's just me. Hate me if you want.
Everybody is entitled to their opinion.
For sure. Again, I've never met him, so we'll leave it at that. Maybe when I meet him, I might change my mind. But
that's how it works. Right?
I feel like Adam's got it in the bag in terms of racing.
I could definitely see Adam taking it because Chicago, out of all these drivers here, they're really the ones who are the best in Chicago would be Camden, Adam, and possibly Barry.
Yeah.
Maybe Dalton because he is a really good arena racer.
Yeah.
And they technically do have their own, like it's a smaller version of Chicago. They don't have ramps in there.
Yeah.
So Dalton could be a great pick as well. But it also depends on that ramp because the way they're racing
I'm excited to see what it's going to look like because I'm not too familiar with it.
It's like the Steel Titans. You know how they had that inverse version?
Yep.
It's like that.
Yep.
Except they have the trucks on opposite sides.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's like an inverse. It's an inverse version of that side.
I'm excited to see because again, I've not. Obviously, it's a new track, and I'm not too familiar with it. So
it'll be interesting.
But in terms of skills, I see Camden. Camden.
I think Dalton's going 2 for 2.
I think so. But then again, he does come from arena, so you have a point there. They kind of have to be good at skills. That's kind of like one of the biggest things.
I will say that I don't think a nose wheelie 2 hits is going to do
but
anything. So Camden, now if Ryan were here, you would get a whole other
it would be Ryan all the way.
And I think based on last year, Adam pulled off a phenomenal skills run that didn't win. So I think Adam could pull something off too.
I think if Ryan was here, all 3 categories would be Ryan for me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But Ryan's my favorite. I've met Ryan. He's freaking amazing. He's awesome. I love Ryan. Great guy, an amazing and talented driver. And he always puts on a hell of a show here in Houston. So that's why my picks completely unbiased because like I said, he's one of my favorites. Completely unbiased. I would have all 3 would have been Ryan.
Well, and I would be the same way with Camden.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorite drivers I've always met. But
Camden is great. Camden really surprises you.
But skills, he kind of does the same hits. Most of these drivers do the same thing. So in this case, we're going to see an old school slap wheelie from Overboard.
I would love that.
I feel like Adam's going to do something.
I think Barry last time in Houston did a wheelie. He did an old school slap wheelie and it was great all the way across and I loved it.
So I think Dalton is going to take it all the way.
Think so?
So I think Dalton's going to get that skills because he is just arenas. And the same thing goes with Jamie. She's also arenas. So we have 2. Well, like I said, technically speaking, there's 2 drivers in this entire field that are arena based.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. I feel like Dalton, or not really just Dalton, but all the arena drivers, I feel like they excel very well in terms of skills because they're constrained in such little arenas that they kind of have to focus on those more technical and skillful moves.
Yeah.
So I would love to see, and I don't know if he's ever even won a skills competition, Avenger.
So, Jim has definitely been stepping up his skills game.
Okay.
He's even starting to do maximum moonwalks now.
Really?
Like from the backflip. He actually has done those. He's starting to do a lot more.
I feel like he's a little more old school. He's kind of stuck in his ways.
I'm okay with
and
that
that's
too.
completely fine for sure. But, you know.
But in personal opinion, I don't think we're going to see any bicycles. Maybe.
No.
I would say maybe Chris will be one of the only ones that does it. But most of these drivers here, I don't see a bicycle happening. Not until freestyle.
I could see Chris doing it.
And that's just because Chris is in his own way, drives a similar style towards Ryan, not the chaotic way, but in terms of what kind of hits he does.
Yeah. What about freestyle?
Camden.
Think so?
Camden, Jim, or Adam. Those three are just nothing against Caleb. He's a phenomenal freestyler.
Yeah.
I think that those three in particular are going to hit it out of the ballpark.
I would love to see Jim take it. Mostly because I am dying to see a Jim freestyle win. And I haven't seen one in a while. At least like here.
If we can get the same one like what happened in Birmingham, that would be freestyled, and again, especially because he's in the fire one. So
yeah.
Most people don't really realize this, but when he's doing kind of like final freestyles with certain bodies, he goes more chaotic than like. That's why we're not gonna see World Finals 18 Avenger anymore.
Yeah,
because that's why he went so off the wall.
Because he wants to absolutely
and that's how I found out why Camden went completely off the wall in Arlington. Apparently that was supposed to be the last event for back.
Oh, that makes sense.
And they ended up keeping it through World Finals, and now he's in Spider-Man. So I think Camden will come out here and have another amazing freestyle. Now, probably somebody that most people don't really think about could possibly do it. Mike.
I believe it.
If his truck stays together,
I believe it.
Mike Christensen is.
That's what I'm saying. He's one of those drivers that really shocked me when he came out. Like I really wasn't expecting much out of him. And I mean, he comes out and he puts on a great show. And I knew the name stuck out to me, but I was like, there's no way, there's no relation there. Because I just haven't seen anything brought up about that and about him being an Iron Outlaw driver.
Makes World Finals too. That would have. I love the fact that David Olford, because Team Throttle has really grown over this time, and I love seeing
and they're all great drivers.
Dalton comes into World Finals hitting a backblade. Like, that dude went off the wall with his freestyle. I feel like if Mike ever got into World Finals, he would do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Because when it comes to World Finals, Jim does the same thing. He will let his drivers just go crazy. Be ready for the work, but go crazy because...
Earn that hardware.
Because Jim's done too.
Yeah.
His freestyles, you may not think that they were the top freestyles. But
I mean, he'll either come out and destroy the truck immediately, or he'll come out and put on an amazing run. There's no in between.
Yeah, so,
with Avenger.
But Jim Kohler is definitely somebody you have to keep your eye on. I don't remember the last time I remember Jim having an October event was in 2021. Last time I remember him having one. I don't think he ever had because he didn't really do. He was kind of like Tom. He didn't really do those. He didn't really do quarter two type events.
Yeah.
But I think that because this is one of his only style events for Monster Jam towards the end of the season, I think we're going to see an off-the-wall freestyle from Jim Kohler. I think Camden is going to come out here and do something that we probably have never seen before.
I'd love to see Avenger do it. I want to see Avenger do it. Is that Gardner?
That would be crazy too, but I don't think it's going to happen. He's all the way in which where was he at?
I forget. You said it was some kind of independent show.
Independent show. He's not going to show up. But this show is going to. It's not going to be top. Like, I don't know if it's going to be top notch, but it's definitely going to be a show to remember.
For sure.
Especially with all these random trailers just showing up.
I know that, and they have the Monster Jam logos on them.
So they're either just there to...
I was going to say, you think that's probably like their tools and stuff?
Maybe.
That's a letdown.
But I'm just hoping that we get all 12 trucks to freestyle.
Oh, yeah, for
Somebody just goes out, does a random lap, and then leaves the track.
And then never comes back.
I remember that when David Olford did that in Glendale, just
Oh, Mohawk Warrior, his debut in Houston years ago, the same thing happened. But that event was the worst. Yeah, that was the worst event that I've ever been to here.
Especially for the fact that Dennis was there too.
Almost every single truck broke. Like, none of the trucks were working right that night. None of them.
Hey, remember though, that was towards the beginning of the season. So
yeah, I mean, but it just.
But I think that this show, there's going to be some surprises. I
hope so.
To me, the problem is there's really not a clear winner for this. If somebody like Ryan was here,
easy. I'm telling you, Ryan, clean sweep.
But with
there's Jim. He was just walking by.
But with Ryan not driving here, we're going to be in for something that we have never seen before.
Yeah, there he is. There goes Jim.
Jim Kohler. He is.
Man, dude, how much longer do you think he has?
I'm gonna give him a couple of years.
You think so?
I know he's saying he's doing something massive next year.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right.
Like a lot of designs and stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping that's not like a final tour kind of thing.
Oh man, I hope not. But we'll see. I mean,
too many.
He's really like one of the last ones that have been here forever.
But once like Jimmy Crean also retires.
Yeah.
I know he's
not even. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the reason why they're not coming back is because they make more money doing their own tour than they did here.
And that's fair. I mean,
what's unfortunate is Bounty Hunter was a popular truck at that time.
Oh, so, Bounty Hunter was. And see, I used to not like Bounty Hunter either because of the whole he's after Gravedigger. But just seeing him drive and stuff is just this guy's great.
One driver I wish could return, Alex Blackwell, captain.
What happened to him?
He doesn't really drive anymore. I think he does occasionally do. It's similar to Mark McDonald. We'll just do a random.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I took a break, and when I came back, it was so many new faces, so many new trucks, people just gone.
Yeah,
I've just been
definitely showing their younger drivers.
Yeah,
and something that I know is going to happen once Jim retires. I don't think Avengers continues.
No,
but Chris is going to take over. But my question is, would he still drive Brutus, or would he create something new to make his father's legacy continue? Because to me, something I'll be honest
unless
with
he continues driving Avenger for him, kind of like Adam does for Dennis.
Well, the thing that I will be honest with you is, personally, I think that when a father or mother retires from driving their monster truck, I think that truck should retire with them.
No, for sure.
The Gravedigger you can't, because Gravedigger is bought out by Felt, so they own the naming rights, so that truck can continue.
But it makes sense to continue that truck at least in there.
But something like a truck like Avenger, I would even say Bounty Hunter. Yeah, you don't see their kids driving, but I like Bounty Hunter, Scarlet Bandit, Avenger.
And see, it's funny that we're talking about Bounty Hunter and Jimmy Creedon and all them. They're having a show not too far from here.
Which
Texas City, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about it's in November here in a few weeks. I was thinking about going. It's the first time ever there, and I'm not.
I will say I recommend their events.
Okay.
So they're not like Monster Truck Wars.
Yeah.
They actually will put on a show.
Okay, I've seen clips of some of their
Bounty
stuff.
Hunter will do random donuts out of nowhere. Like even though I've never been to one myself, because the closest one to me is Waco.
Yeah.
They put on shows.
Yeah.
So I recommend you go to that.
I've been thinking about it.
Even Don Cretan puts on a
show. It's going to be Jimmy, it's going to be Don Cretan, and I forget who the other two were, but one of the names stuck out to me. But it's like 4 or 5 trucks. I forget. It's 4 or 5 trucks that are going to be going.
Hot tamale. Every time I see that truck, I'm just like, what is this truck doing? Because, most people don't realize some of these trucks that we're seeing back in the independent circuit, they were in Monster Jam years ago.
Yep.
Like I have 2011 souvenir books with trucks like Hot Tamale, Incinerator, all these trucks.
I was looking through one where I got Scott Hartsock's signature, and it's nothing but Independence and Independence and Independence.
So it's one.
Like I remember Broker, Cowboy.
I wish I could have seen Cowboy.
Instigator.
Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie. Yeah, totally.
What were the other ones? There was one that stuck out to me a lot that I really liked. Oh, Outlaw. Oh, I loved Outlaw. Now I think, what is...
Mike Harper.
He was... Well, when he was here in Houston, he put on some good shows.
Oh, no. I'm talking about, now...
Oh, now, no. Yeah.
I don't...
he has those smaller shows.
Yeah, I've been to 2 of them.
Okay, I think there's one coming up in Conroe, and I'm like,
Here's the thing. Outlaw will put on a good show, but the rest of the trucks, no.
That's why I'm always kind of hesitant.
I don't recommend it. They try to make it seem like it's better than even this, even Throwdown.
Oh,
like all those big...
I've always wanted to go to a throwdown show.
There's Jamie. Look at him in his...
Yeah, I saw him walking around with his wife a second ago.
But it's definitely going to be a chaotic event.
Oh, dude,
somewhat. If Zach was here, that would have been a fun one too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe he'll come. I think he's on the lineup for next year. They haven't announced the Houston dates, but I think like he's in one of those tours. I don't remember.
I do know that there are some people who now are saying that Arlington may be in Arlington next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna check.
Oh, next weekend.
Yeah, because
okay.
Monster Jam has a tendency to update lineups.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know Weston was gonna be there until randomly.
Well, see, I saw it was like on Facebook. I saw that someone had said that that he wasn't gonna be here. And I was like, there's no way. And I kept checking the website. I kept checking. But they were saying that Black Pearl was going to be here in his spot. And
yeah, a lot of people said Cole, but then I was like, no, because Cole, I think, is at that event too. Okay. Or he's not able to drive this weekend. Yeah. I don't remember. Because, I'm sad that Cole's not driving the Q2 event. Because, there's always those certain drivers like Jim. I was not expecting him to be in a Q2 event. Because he hasn't really
I'm always excited to see Avenger in any lineup.
I'm excited for Jim in general because, as I said, Jim was the first driver that I had seen for a Monster Jam event.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm Team Scream all the way with
Absolutely.
that. And a lot of people don't, Maximum Destruction is my favorite Feld truck. Yeah. Followed by Mohawk Warrior.
Yeah.
Even though, unfortunately...
They're both gone.
Yeah, Mohawk Warrior is officially retired.
Yeah, Max D is gone. Which, I don't know, and I said this in my last episode. Max D is not coming back. Yeah, I said this in my last episode. I don't think I can see anybody else driving Max D or would want anybody else driving Max D.
I think it's the perfect fit.
Yeah.
At that time. But now, some people did bring up a good point that they could have done. Todd LeDuc. Because Todd LeDuc...
yeah.
Because that would have been a huge difference for him.
Yeah.
Max D is...
And with his driving style from before, it could fit.
So, but unfortunately, they're making the decision. Max D is...
Yeah.
And I get what they're doing because Tom Mintz is the one who made the truck.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to be like, no, let's keep certain trucks...
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, Avenger's going to be the one that... Or not Avenger. Max D's got to unfortunately go.
No.
Mohawk Warrior is officially gone now.
Bakugan.
Yeah, Bakugan is now gone because Sparkle Smash took the place of Bakugan.
Yeah.
Most people thought it was a Fortnite thing. Yeah, it's a Fortnite thing, but it's also that is the official Spin
Master truck. Yeah. So.
Which is why Soldier Fortune's now gone.
Yeah,
and, but it makes you wonder though, what is Camden driving next year? Because
that's really the biggest question.
They don't have any. They don't have none of those trucks.
I asked Bari. I told him, what's the plan for next year? Are you coming back in Zombie, or are you going to stay in Black Panther? He said, no, it's going to be Zombie for sure. Which I figured. I don't see these Marvel trucks going past Houston and Arlington. I think Arlington, that's it. We're not going to see them again, at least here. Maybe international, but even then, I think
what they're going to start doing for those trucks is they're going to be Q2 event trucks.
Oh, gotcha.
So instead of
tour a show every single week, it's going to be just those one-off.
Because they're special-based trucks.
Yeah.
So why not keep special trucks for
these special events?
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Because Arlington used to not be a 2-show event; it only used to be a 1.
Yeah.
And then it became it because they realized Arlington always wanted 2 shows.
Yeah.
We always wanted we want 2-day shows versus these.
Luckily, we get 4 here now. We used to only get 3.
And then you get Anaheim, it gets 10. And now it's the same tour for the whole time, but still 10 shows.
Still, though, I wouldn't complain.
I would be hanging out there.
Oh, my God. I would go bankrupt. I would know everybody by name there in that stadium.
Hey there, how you doing?
It's me again. Oh, man.
Because, and what's funny is that most of the people in the community... We go to most of these events who have multiple shows, while most people only go to 1, maybe 2 in their entire time because they see this as just a random night out. Yeah. While we see this as entertainment. This is our version.
We're counting down the days for these shows and these events, and we're keeping an eye on the calendar and keeping an eye on the website. And when are they announcing the tours? And when are the tickets going on sale?
Most people don't know this, but unfortunately, I'm not coming back to Houston until fall or 2026.
What? Why?
I'm having to move and expenses. And
no, that's
Arlington,
fair.
unfortunately, may not end up happening either.
Oh. I mean, that's fair. That makes sense.
And yeah, does it suck? Yes, but at the same time, I need to.
Hey man, priorities. You know, luckily they live stream them now.
Oh yeah. When Monster Jam first started, I was like,
I thought it was going to be a one-off thing. I'm like, they're only going to do it once. They're not going to do it again.
It's like they're always so strict about it, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, now you can watch it live. But if you post it,
and then when they said World Finals was going to be live streamed, I said, oh,
I was at work,
dude. Oh my god.
I was literally sitting, like I was at work while World Finals was going, and I'm just like, someone was like, hey, I need.
I forget where I was, and it was my wife's birthday.
Oh wow!
And we were out on a birthday dinner, and I'm like, let me just check really quick. I was like trying not to, but I'm like, let me just take a quick.
But that event though, that I love the fact Monster Jam's doing that now.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
What I think they need to do though to make things a little better on their part, put that under the membership.
Yeah,
I think that would be better.
Put like a paywall up.
Yes, so only because they're not getting paid to do this.
No, I think the way YouTube works, it works very odd. I feel like they would get something, but not as much as if they did like a membership thing, which I think people would pay for. I would definitely pay for that.
Because you already paid to get all those old episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, they dropped Rod.
All right, good job. Way to go, guys. I would definitely pay.
But this was definitely a great thing on their part, because I think they're starting to realize we can't go to every event.
Yeah.
Most people can't even afford to go to most of these events that's even in their hometown, because
I mean, and this was by choice, obviously, the tickets that I got, but I mean, I paid $300 plus for 2 tickets.
I got lucky to really didn't pay anything.
Bottom
I think, because ironically, Houston is cheaper for tickets versus Arlington.
Oh, really?
And Arlington's my home show. I spent less going here than I am going to Arlington.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's just because I kind of wait till the last minute to buy tickets most of the time. Except Houston.
I mean, I bought them the second they went live.
Houston,
I said, boom.
Houston is one of the only events where I will buy as quick as I can.
Yeah.
Arlington, I kind of like to hold back because I don't know how it's going to work out.
Yeah.
But like Monster Jam is definitely going for a better in some retrospect. Yeah, there's some things they can still fix.
Yeah.
Like this whole like Insta sponsoring, they kind of sold out in that little aspect. But at the same time, I get it. They need money.
Well, obviously they got to fund everything and you know all the carnage and all that.
But at the same time, I think it's a perfect opportunity for not only fans to watch Monster Jam every week and kind of be like WWE in that retrospect.
But not to mention too, it gives the opportunity to bring even more fans, because a random kid were going on YouTube on a Saturday night just looking for stuff, and then boom, oh look at this show, it's monster trucks.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell my parents about it, and then boom, now you got them coming to the next show. So
and that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
And I think that with the I think Monster Jam needs to start doing special one-off appearances for certain trucks. Like, could you imagine if they announced Captain's Curse is returning Houston, Texas, 2025?
God, dude.
Imagine the hype that
I would love to see Captain's Curse again.
Like, or the ultimate. Like, I think this would be an ultimate thing that they could do. Okay, do this instead of just doing the Marvel trucks. Like, you have Marvel trucks at one show. They need to do something a little special with certain trucks who don't drive right now. Captain's Curse and Pirate's Curse. Because you see how those two play together.
Yeah.
Then you bring Zombie and Zombie Hunter.
Oh yeah.
And those
kind of just do like.
And those four could be like your. Because most people think that those two are the same, but it's Captain's Curse versus Pirate's Curse.
Yeah.
That could be a rivalry.
Kind of like a theme, kind of.
And then of course.
Kind of like a modern day Gravedigger Max D rivalry. You got that kind of rivalry.
Like how when Bounty Hunter and Gravedigger were against each other. Scarlet Bandit and Bounty Hunter. Maximum Destruction versus Gravedigger. Like, most people don't realize some of these trucks have been at each other for years.
I mean, Bounty Hunter had Gravedigger on a wanted poster on its hood.
And then now that you have Adam and Bryce back on the same tour next year, not only are we going to get literally the current rivalry that's similar to Dennis and Tom and their own little thing, we're also getting a chance to see, unfortunately, we're going to be seeing Bryce in the new truck, but it's still going to be fun to see how these two play together.
No, for sure.
On this.
And I'm really hoping they get some good trucks for these guys, that it's not just like a repeat of just whatever, like another Megalodon or something.
There's rumors on one of them. I'll tell you after.
Okay, that's fair.
This is something that can't be out.
That's fine. We'll keep it confidential.
But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how this event goes, because I've been counting this day down.
Oh, dude, me too. I've been so excited ever since they announced it. I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. And I forget exactly when. I think it was during World Finals.
Yeah,
that they brought up
when they announced the Marvel, I'm like, no way.
Yeah. When I first saw them, I was like, no, there's no way they're going to make it all the way out here to anywhere in the States. They tend to keep those internationally. And then they said they were coming to three shows in the States: Glendale, Houston, Arlington. I said, yes, it's a good day to be a Houston native.
Yeah, when I heard Arlington, I'm like, well, I finally get to see trucks I haven't seen since I was a kid. Right? Like, I still have the die-cast for them.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Because most people don't.
I have Hulk. And old, like, small, like the small hub or whatever they were.
Yeah.
And then I got Spider-Man, I got Iron Man, I got Captain America. I have a sealed double pack of Iron Man versus Captain America. It's sealed, boxed away, stored away safely. Yep. I made sure that was the specific one that I made sure to keep sealed.
Most people don't know this, especially if you weren't around when I first started.
Yeah.
I used to do die-cast racing.
Okay.
So I had like all these trucks racing up against each other. So I've had die-cast for years, and I still have them. They're all inside
I still have
boxes.
all of mine too. At some point, I was going to get rid of all. When I said, when I stepped away,
and I was like, nah, that's too much of a memory for me.
When I stepped away for a bit, I was like, I'm just going to get rid of them all. I don't need them. Look at them. With that stash.
The dentist stash.
The dentist stash. Yeah, when I stepped away for a bit, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get rid of these. I'm not going to, that was a great chapter in my life. I'm not going to go back, and I'm so glad I didn't. I did sell a few, and I think one of the ones that I regret the most is I had that 124 scale Monster Jam 25th anniversary with all the towns all around it. I regret selling that one so much.
I still have all mine, and I did start getting die-cast signs. So for Monster, like when Monster Jam was Hot Wheels, I opened them.
Yeah.
But once they started doing Spin Master, I changed my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep them boxed, but get them signed. Yeah. I have all my Bakugan signed by Camden.
Wow.
And that was like one of my biggest goals, was to get everyone that I had signed by him. And I did.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't have any die. I have one die cast signed. It's a 124 scale Son of a Digger. Ryan Anderson 2014.
But I keep all of them signed, because the new thing about it is, like, I'm not going to do anything with them. They're going to, when the day that I get like my own like office or something, they're going to get hung up.
Yeah.
And just be a die cast collector.
Yeah. And I have I say quite a few. I have a ton sealed, old Hot Wheels to current Spin Master now. And usually if there's a truck that I really like that I don't want to open, I'll just buy two.
Yeah.
I'll seal one and open the other one, because I'll do the die. Well, I started doing the die cast now, again, but
I stopped doing it because I started moving a lot, and I just didn't want to.
I didn't want to do it again either, just because it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to put. At least the way that I want to approach it, it's so much to set up.
I started off a lot of things when it came to the die-cast racing that a lot of people didn't really do at their time, because when you had people like Project 55, or when he was known as 5155.
There you go. 5155. I remember him. He was in some of my original ones.
So he still does do stuff like that, but not as much anymore. He stepped away from doing that. Yeah. But he kind of just did races. Races. And then you had somebody like Mac do the same thing. Yeah. But then
I've seen a few of his.
I also come through, but I'm like, I changed things up. I actually ended up doing a point series.
See, and I thought about doing that, but I don't know how to approach it, so I kind of just left it.
What I did with mine was I did the regular racing, and you got points based on how many trucks there were. And there was 16, so you get 16 if you win. Yeah. Kind of do that. And then I had that World Finals playset. So I used that as like the freestyle thing. And the truck who could survive the longest without flipping would be
the winner.
Would get the highest score.
Yeah.
And it worked out. A lot of people kind of stuck with it. And then I also did World Finals based.
Yeah.
Ever so often, because what I wanted to do was to make things a little more special. If you won based on how many I did, if you won during that time, you automatically qualify for World Finals. Yeah. And it'd be the ultimate winner. Yeah. Where the one truck that won was fully retired. Yeah. Never to be used again. Yeah. And I would only bring it back on special occasions for that person only. Yeah. And I did that for a long time. So you get like 4 people who would have like 5 trucks in there. You had like some with one, and ironically, one person ended up winning the whole thing. So, But I did that for a while, but over time, like before I think it was before I hit number 100, I decided to retire it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I see.
I think I got to like 16. I did 17, but 17 never got released.
Yeah.
I finally found the footage not too long ago, but I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go through it.
And what I wanted to do was like the ultimate, what I wanted to do for my send-off, I want to do the ultimate send-off.
Yeah.
Where I took all the trucks I had in my collection. I was going to do like a 300 truck racing or something.
That'd be a long video.
But it ended up not happening because there wasn't enough people signing up, and I wasn't going to go around.
300 plus people trying to get them. So yeah, no, for sure.
But and I was like, okay, but I was like, most people, because I wanted to step off and do my own thing and not just continue doing this.
For sure. And like the way I tried to keep mine unique was a different track every single time. I always changed something.
I don't have anything like that. I just had the regular racing. So what
I had
taking binders.
What was it?
They could jump.
I had those little things that you would like clamp it to like a table or something, and you'd push a lever and it would go and jump. So I
wish
those.
I had one of those.
I bought two of them.
One of my favorite styles I ever did though with it. Yeah, I've been looking at the time too. One of my favorite things I did with it, the 124. I actually used them and raced them.
I did like 3 of those.
And ironically, some of them broke. They were like already broken, so like it was funny. So like you have Gravedigger coming out, and the tire just popped right off. I'm like, well, they won, but because I was like from like 2005, 2006 era.
I did like 3 of those, and it was fun, but it's just so hard to like maneuver those and to get them to go where you need them to compared to the 164.
They don't really work very well on ramps.
Yeah,
but. And at the end of the day, like I stopped doing it. I was in high school at the time.
Yeah.
My channel became a meme. And I had to be like, well, okay, let's find something else to do. So and I've been featured in a few people's videos.
Oh my goodness.
So like I'm just like, okay, diecasts are fun, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I enjoy. I find a lot of fun of them. It's just the way I want to do it now is just the setup, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, but I'm still gonna try.
But
I have the Halloween showdown coming up here pretty soon.
Fun.
It's 32 trucks. I'm excited for that. I think I have like 5 or 6 left that are open still, but I'm sure I'll be able to.
Just sign me up for a random.
I got you. I forget who's available, but I'll put you down as one. Now I want to do holiday theme for a while, so like Thanksgiving. Now I want to do Christmas. And like one for New Year's and
the Christmas showdown.
Yeah, that's basically what I want to do.
And you make it, try to find the snowflake.
Yeah, I want to get like the spray can of snow and stuff like that.
Race them in front of the Christmas tree.
There you go, even better. So
that way whoever wins gets to be the top ornament for that.
Right.
Boom.
So I don't know, just different things I'm going to be trying out, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I mean, we're getting closer. Oh yeah, we're really close. So I guess we'll end it there. We've been going on for a while, at an hour 14. I'm sure some of that's going to get edited because they were super loud. But yeah, I mean, hey, it was fun. First time ever doing this in person, so we'll see if any more of these happen. And I guess it's a good thing we did it now, since you're going to be not going to be coming in this area for a while. So at least we got to get it done before then. So I guess anything before we cut it off? Anything you got to say or any questions?
On the channel.
Thank you.
It's fun watching you grow.
Appreciate it.
See what you and Toucan have in store.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, dude, Toucan really surprised me. He came out of nowhere and joined. So
enjoy it. I think you. From what I've seen, you're definitely growing.
Oh, thank you.
Keep it going. I can't wait to see what Showdown tour.
Oh, dude, I'm excited. Hopefully, here in a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, I can get it out. Hey, I got some up and ready for you.
Anybody driving in Showdown, bring it all you got.
There you go, Dave. That's what I think I forgot to mention. He was a judge in Steel Titans. He's also a judge in Showdown. So get on his good side. Show him some love. Check him out on Instagram and YouTube. And yeah, be sure to keep an eye out for a Houston video. I'm sure here coming soon from Dave. So be sure to check that out. I'll figure out how I can put links and stuff on. Obviously, it's easy on YouTube. Spotify, I'm still figuring out. I don't think anybody really listens on Spotify. It's mainly YouTube. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying everything that's been going on, and meeting everyone, talking to everybody. But all right, Dave. Well, if you got nothing left, man, I thank you again for doing it. Yeah, man, absolutely.
So that's it. That's today's episode. That's the conversation with Dave. Again, a great guy. Glad I finally got to meet him, and hoping that maybe later on in the future we can definitely meet again and do another episode, and also just hang out, have a good time. And yeah, again, huge shout out to Dave. Again, be sure to check him out, show him some love. Dave609 from YouTube, exactly that way. on Instagram and YouTube. He has some marching band content as well as some Monster Jam content and some other stuff, both Monster Jam and independent. And yeah, be sure to check him out, even some gaming in the mix there. So be sure to check him out, show him some love, tell him I sent you. And yeah, that's it for today's episode. No comment of the question this week, or no comment question of the day this week, unfortunately. So send them my way. Come on, don't leave me hanging. I kind of put my question at the beginning of the video, which was, who do you think? What were your predictions prior to the Houston show? And what are your predictions going into the Arlington show? This Saturday is going to be the Arlington show. The Marvel Monster Trucks will be moving to Arlington, and Weston Anderson will be in the Arlington show driving Gravedigger. So huge news there, and looking forward to that. But let me know what your predictions are, what they were for Houston prior to the show, and what they are for Arlington going into this weekend. Let me know down below. And with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Project Rod, and I'll see you in the next one.